miembro de varios países balcánicos para el bloque de los 27, una Úrsula von Der Leyen que en paralelo también se está discutiendo la seguridad y la defensa en la Unión Europea.
And we look forward to Serbia to double down on its European Union path. The European Union membership offers is an opportunity. It is the promise to peace. It's a promise of prosperity and of solidarity, and especially in times of crisis. You have seen that in practice. Take the energy crisis of 2022. It was triggered by Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine, and it had a devastating impact across our entire continent, but we faced it together. The European Union extended the same measures of solidarity to our Western Balkan partners as to our own member states. And this is what it means to be a reliable partner. You can continue to count on us. We are connecting Serbia to the EU's energy market. This is the true guarantee that Serbian families will be safe and warm in winter. And we have concrete projects in motion. The Trans-Balkan Power Corridor, for example, linking Serbia's grid with its neighbours and with the European Union, and the Serbia-Bulgaria gas interconnector. And we are prepared to invest further in it. We also invited Serbia to join the EU's joint gas procurement mechanism, because together we are using our collective market power to secure better energy prices. Mr. President, now is the moment for Serbia to get concrete about joining our union. My first point is that we need to see progress on the rule of law, the electoral framework and media freedom. I know these reforms are not easy. They take patience and endurance. They must include all parts of society and the political spectrum, but they are worth the effort because they move you closer to your goal, and they also provide cornerstones for a more stable and peaceful society. In this context, I welcome the recent progress made on the Unified Voter Register, as well as the REM Council. I notice the efforts made by all to work together, including the civil society and the opposition. This is a good first step. Of course, now implementation is key, and this is why I would like to invite you to come to Brussels in about a month's time to take stock together. My second point is that we need to see greater alignment in our foreign policy, including on sanctions against Russia. I commend you for reaching 61% of alignment with our foreign policy, but more is needed. And we want to count on Serbia as a reliable partner. We know the EU path can be a long road. This is why we wanted to bring some of the benefits of future accession already today, such as the access to the single market, for example, and more EU investments. This is basically the essence of our growth plan for the Western Balkans. Under the plan, the growth plan for Serbia, we have already made available now over 100 million euros in new investments for Serbia, and more will come. As a part of the growth plan, you have created a monitoring committee, and this monitoring committee includes representatives of the civil society organizations, whom I will meet later, and it includes the government. And I think such a committee is a great signal. It sends a strong message that creates trust, inclusiveness and ownership. I think this is the way to go. Under the growth plan, we are also working on Serbia's integration into the single euro payment area. This will make transfers of money between Serbia and the European Union faster, safer, and much, much cheaper. It will have a real impact on business and on your citizens, many of whom live and work in the EU member states. It shows that Europe's commitment is not only in words, but also in deeds, real change on the ground. And we now look to Serbia to show the same commitment in deeds as well as in words. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam President. Poštovane kolege, možemo da pređemo sada na vaša pitanja. Prvo pitanje ide Radio Slobodna Evropa, Nevena Bogdanović. Nevena, izvolite.
Hvala, thank you. A question for Madam President. Where do you see the solution for the current political situation in Serbia? During her previous visit to Belgrade, Commissioner Marta Kos stated that students' demands are the same as those the European Union asks for Serbia, all demands towards Serbia. Protesters now demand early elections, and Brussels called for de-escalation after the incidents and the arrests during the protests. Thank you. And question for President Vučić. Gospodine Vučiću, kako Beograd danas odgovara na kritike Brisela zbog odnosa sa Moskvom i da li je Beograd utvrdio da li ruske službe stoje iza borbenog kampa za strance kod Loznice, budući da se ruske službe ne pominju u zvaničnim saopštenjima, i da li je o tome bilo reči na današnjem sastanku? Hvala.
So this is clearly a very crucial moment for Serbia, and it is the time for the nation to come together. It is also the moment to strengthen the foundations of a strong, vibrant and effective democracy. I want to reassure you that the European Union is ready to support you in any effort where that is concerned. And this is, after all, what the whole accession process is all about. It is about the EU-related reforms, and these reforms should, of course, be done by taking the whole of society along. Everybody has to be involved in this reform process because it is changing the country for the better, for a strong democracy. So it should be including the whole political spectrum, but of course also strong parts of civil society. And I just said it, but I want to re-emphasize that in this context I really welcome the recent progress on the Unified Voter Registry and the REM Council. It has been agreed by working together with civil society organizations, the government with civil society organizations. So you really created here a platform to say this affects all of us. It's media freedom, it's electoral reform, it's of utmost importance that everyone has skin in the game. And by forming this platform or working platform, you were able to move forward and to agree on these two very important factors. So that's a good first step. It might be an example for further work on EU-related reforms. And of course, now implementation is key. It's very good to have the agreement. Now it has to come the change on the ground.
Najpre, da ne bi bilo da nešto krijem ili da se plašim da zastupam stavove koje svakodnevno iznosim. Ponosan sam na demokratsko opredeljenje i ponašanje srpske države po pitanju protesta. Kada ste imali u velikim evropskim zemljama proteste, bilo i po 27 mrtvih u tim protestima. U Srbiji, srećom i zahvaljujući ogromnoj trpeljivosti i strpljenju državnih organa Srbije, niko nije stradao u 11 meseci. Pošto govorite o slobodi okupljanja, ovo je zemlja koja je šampion sveta po slobodi okupljanja, gde imate preko 25.000 kriminalnih, odnosno ilegalnih, neprijavljenih skupova koje smo čuvali, obezbeđivali i brinuli o ljudima koji su ih ilegalno držali. Tek toliko o tome. I kada pričate o reakciji policije i excessive use of force ili kako god to hoćete da nazovete, prekoračenju, ako se to ikada dogodilo u Srbiji, se to dogodilo najmanje. Policija je reagovala samo u krajnjoj nuždi i minimalnom upotrebom sile. Ne onako kako bih ja voleo i gde bih voleo da suštinski pratimo evropske vrednosti. Što se tiče vašeg pitanja, da, mi smo ustanovili prisustvo, ne mogu ja da tvrdim, ruske službe, niti imamo za to priznanja, ali ustanovili smo prisustvo trojice ruskih državljana u kampu Sunčana reka, nedaleko od Loznice, između Loznice i Malog Zvornika. Priveli smo lica srpske nacionalnosti koja su nam bila dostupna. Oni su nam dali podatke o kojim licima je reč i nastavlja se dalje istraga. Ta lica se i dalje nalaze u pritvoru. Kao što smo priveli 11 lica povodom incidenata u Parizu, kao što smo priveli i 2 lica povodom incidenata u Nemačkoj povodom mitinga koji je jedan od opozicionih lidera održavao, a gde je neko bacio farbu, lažno želeći da optuži nekoga iz nemačkih vlasti. Da, sva ta lica su privedena i kao što sam rekao, u ovom slučaju su bila prisutna u tom kampu i 3 ruska državljanina. To je ono što mogu da vam potvrdim.
Hvala.
Svega se nastavlja, naravno.
Hvala. Sledeće pitanje, Radio televizija Srbije, Tamara Stojisavljević. Tamara, izvoli.
Za gospođu von der Leyen. Juče ste u Crnoj Gori pozvali investitore da ulažu u zemlje Zapadnog Balkana. Kako u tom kontekstu vidite Srbiju, u kojim to oblastima Srbija može da očekuje nove investicije, nova ulaganja? Pominjali ste veštačku inteligenciju, zelenu energiju, ali da li imate nešto konkretnije da nam poručite ovde u Beogradu? I za predsjednika Vučića, pominjali ste da ste molili gospođu von der Leyen u vezi kvota za čelik. Da li ste optimista da će doći do nekog pomaka po tom pitanju? I kada je reč o naftnoj industriji Srbije, da li ste možete nešto konkretnije da nam kažete? Da li ste u pregovorima sa nekim evropskim zemljama, osim sa Hrvatskom zbog JANAF-a, u vezi sa rešenjem tog pitanja? Hvala.
Yes, the investors' conferences were outstanding. The interest is high. And my message basically to the investors is the time to invest in the Western Balkans is now. Because if you choose the Western Balkans, you choose Europe. And that's the principle of our growth plan. Because the growth plan opens the door to sectors of the single market as if the Western Balkan countries were already members of the European Union. We do this by investing in the Western Balkan countries, and in return there are reforms so that we have a level playing field between our single market and the Western Balkan countries. And this is a huge opportunity for companies in the European Union, because the market is widening, but also, of course, for companies from the Western Balkan, because the door is open now to the single market of the European Union. And indeed, a classical example is the investment in artificial intelligence. We have built in the European Union so-called AI factories. These are high-power computational centers, and we open these AI factories to our startups so that they can train and develop and then deploy their models with the data computational power of the AI factories. So it's very powerful. What we're doing now is extending these AI factories to the Western Balkans, for example, one antenna to Serbia, so that also the Western Balkan startups can train their models already on the AI factories of the European Union. That is one example. Another example is, of course, the investment in clean technologies, the decarbonization, for example, the wind farms, the hydropower plants, and more renewable energy and clean technologies that are being developed here in the Western Balkans. So lots of opportunities, and therefore, if you choose the Western Balkan as an investor, you choose Europe.